Hello everyone, and welcome back to our weekly series of Is the Shrine Worth It? The series where we have a look at the perks and the Shrine secrets and see if they're really worth your 2,000 iridescent shards each. This week we have a semi-banger. It's only really good for the survivors, but the perks that are in for the killers are also pretty strong. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. We have perks from the Plague, the Skull Merchant, Leon and Michonne. Those perks are Corrupt Intervention, Game Afoot, Rookie Spirit and Last Stand. Let's get into the survivor perks first. Our first survivor perk is Rookie Spirit. Complete 3 good or great skill checks while repairing a generator to activate Rookie Spirit for the remainder of the trial. Once active, you can see the auras of all regressing gens. This is what it looks like in game. I'm going to give Rookie Spirit a 4 out of 10 in terms of how good it is. Personally, I don't understand why you'd want to see the auras of regressing generators unless you're very late into the game. I would, however, think that something like Deja Vu would be much more useful, a perk that gives you the auras of the generators plus a 5% increase in the speed that you do them. I personally wouldn't run this perk in any of my builds, however I can see from a beginner point of view this could be a little bit interesting and a little bit good for the information. Whether you think it's strong or not, Leon is a licensed character, so any of his perks are 100% worth picking up, as the only other way you're going to get them is by buying him in full, with real money. Our next survivor perk is Last Stand. After spending 90 seconds in the killer's terror radius while not in chase, when you fast vault, stun the killer for 3 seconds if they are within 2.5 meters. This is what it looks like in game. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 in terms of its strength. I do think that it's quite hard to be actually useful and spend 90 seconds around the killer's terror radius and not be in chase. You could be lucky, you could spend the whole game on gens and healing people and not be chased, so there is that. But that means that this perk will only really be used at the later stages of the game. This is a one-time use perk, so once you've stunned the killer with this perk, that's it. You have lost a perk slot for the entire game. I would describe this as a fun perk. This is fun to use, it's for fun builds, it's for basically kind of trolling the killer. It's very niche that you'll ever get a save with it or anything, it's just a big wind up. Whether you think it's strong or not, Michonne Grimes is a licensed character, so any of her perks are 100% worth picking up in the shrine. Let's move on to the killer perks. Our first killer perk is Corrupt Intervention. 3 generators located furthest from you are blocked by the entity for 120 seconds at the start of the trial. Survivors cannot repair these generators for the duration. Affected generators are highlighted by a white aura. This is what it looks like in game. I'm going to give Corrupt Intervention a 10 out of 10. This has been a very meta perk for the longest time, and it's very strong on certain characters that need to ramp up their speed. So I'm talking a Trapper who needs to get his trap sorted, a Michael Myers who needs to get his stalk up, and a Huntress who needs to just absolutely lob everything that she's got at the survivors before she even sees one. Unfortunately, Plague is one of the oldest characters in the game, so I would not say it's worth picking up her perk in the shrine. Instead, you should buy her in full, level her up with your blood points, and you get all 3 of her perks instead of just this one. Our fourth and final perk is Game Afoot. While you are chasing the obsession, this perk activates. Damaging generators or breaking walls or pallets gives you a 7% haste status for 10 seconds. Whenever you hit the survivor with the total most times in chase with the basic attack, they become the obsession. This is what it looks like in game. I'm going to give Games Afoot a 5 out of 10 in terms of its strength. The only way that this perk is good is if you use it on the basic M1 killers, like a Trapper, a Skull Merchant, a Freddy. I just don't really see much of a use of it because you could be getting so much more value out of having another perk that regresses gens, that maybe does something to give them Oblivious. There are so many perks that you could run instead of this because it doesn't really synergize with anything very well. That being said, Skull Merchant is not licensed, so I would not say it's worth picking up. Instead, you can buy her at this point. She is quite cheap. You can buy her in full, level her up with blood points, and you get all of her perks instead, plus you get a whole new killer. So to recap, this week we want to pick up both of the survivor perks and we want to stay away from both of the killer perks. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Hopefully we get another good shrine. Bye!